Welcome to Barkhausen Nature Bites. Today we're talking about the critters that made these two different types of nests, and those are the paper wasp and also the yellow jacket. So paper wasp and yellow jacket's part of the group of social wasps that we have here in Wisconsin. And honeybees, bumblebees, they're in a little bit different groups. We're not going to talk about them in this video. There's a lot of information about them as well, so hopefully I'll cover that in a future video, so please be patient. But today I do want to talk about paper wasps and yellow jackets, because definitely as we get more into later in the summer, early fall, we're probably going to encounter them a little bit more. So paper wasps, they're the ones that have like the long slender bodies with feet kind of dangling in the air as they're flying around, and they're going to make nests like this where they hang upside down, usually like on a little like ledge or an eave, and you can see the comb very easily. And usually there's like maybe a couple onto like a dozen or so paper wasps hanging out with that, and those are going to be the paper wasps. Now yellow jackets, there's actually over 12 species of yellow jackets in Wisconsin alone, and they make quite a variety of nests. And so the yellow jacket, the way it looks like, just picture that insect, what we call a lot of times a bee, hanging around us around the picnic time and lunch or in summer times. Those are yellow jackets, kind of yellow body, black stripes. And they're going to make nests like this, but they're going to be enclosed. So a little bit different than this one, where this one's completely enclosed, and all this material is basically chewed up plant fibers. So yellow jackets, again, there's over 12 species, and they make nests in quite a variety of areas. They'll be hanging from branches. They could be in like a hollow opening on the side of a building, or like in like a rock or something like that. They could be down the ground in an old like rodent burrow. So sometimes when I'm guilty of this, I'll call those ground hornets, and those are actually yellow jackets, a different type of species. Now the ones that actually made this nest are called bald-faced hornets. They're technically considered a yellow jacket. They're not actually a hornet. There really actually are no hornets in Wisconsin. So those are technically called a yellow jacket, but we do call them bald-faced hornets, and they make this type of a nest. And if you ever wondered why the bald-faced hornet went back to home to get something, well, it had to go get its yellow jacket. Yeah, a little entomologist humor right there, bear with me. So for yellow jackets and paper wasps, they're going to have colonies. The queen's going to emerge in the spring. She's going to look for a place to have her nest. She'll do all the work in the beginning until the eggs hatch into workers, and they can take over, and then she pretty much stays in that nest, doesn't leave it at all. The larvae are going to be fed by the workers, actually chewed up insects. So the workers are going to actually find a variety of insects, caterpillars, but also going to look for spiders, and they're going to chew them up and actually feed them to the larvae. The adults themselves, they will eat nectar and like fruit juices from like overripened or ripening fruit, but the larvae are actually eating up chewed up insects. So that's kind of a fun fact right there. Now, as the year progresses, eventually that colony will die out completely. The only one that's going to survive for over the winter is going to be a queen. The queen's going to find some place to shelter, and then she'll come back next spring and start all over again. And they'll make a whole new nest every single year. Now, for the yellow jackets, they're going to overwinter by themselves. For the paper wasps, they're actually going to overwinter. The queens are going to overwinter in groups. So if you ever seen a bunch of those paper wasps kind of emerging, maybe in your house, like late winter, early spring, they're not looking for a nest. There's probably queens that have some shelter someplace in your house and are looking to get out and eventually find some place to make a new nest. Now, both paper wasps and yellow jackets do sting. They can sting repeatedly. They do not die after they sting like a honeybee would. But for the yellow jackets and paper wasps, they can sting. They're not, I wouldn't say they're really aggressive. They're not going to be flying around just looking for somebody to sting and say, hey, I'm going to sting that one person just for fun. They're really going to get like sting when you actually grab them. So if they're like on a bottle or something, you're going to take a sip and you actually grab them, or if you're reaching for something, or if you actually get close to their nest and you just don't aware of it, which is why they can be kind of a problem late summer, early fall, because their nest can be hidden in long grass, they can be hidden in the trees, and you don't know you stepped on or got kind of close to it until it's too late and you start getting stung. So definitely be careful out there this time of year, and definitely if you have any kind of allergic reaction to them. It is kind of crazy to think about that they actually are beneficial. We talk a lot about pollinators, but for the social wasps, again, the paper wasps and the yellow jackets, they're actually eating quite a bit of insect, a lot of yard pests. So they're actually beneficial that way. So if you see one out there, don't think that they're going to come after you, sting you unless you get too close. But obviously, do what you have to do so that we can minimize any exposure you might have. So a lot of cool things about these social wasps for sure. If you ever seen a wasp out there is acting all busy and buzzing around, well, that's just a wannabe. Thanks for watching Barkhausen Nature Bites.